Hello, my name's Donna McNeil. I'm a herbalist, a naturopath. I do archetypal readings and workshops on herbs and the elements. Anyway, today I want to talk to you about, I had a very interesting conversation with a woman that has walked into the shop. I'm not telling you which shop. It could be Ivanhoe, it could be Torquay. I'm not telling you because I don't want you to work it out. Anyway, she has given me permission to talk about her. So she comes into the shop, another client has bought her, it's the first time I ever met her. So she comes into the shop and is asking for help. So I normally look at someone's tongue because I want to see if they're exhausted, I want to see basically what's going on, and anyway. So she stood in front of me and I said, do I have permission to feel into your heart? Because that's what I like to do. So I feel into her heart and I said to her, oh, what's with the sadness? And she starts crying. I seriously have a gift with the crying thing. And I'll tell you why I have a gift with the crying thing. It's because I don't know her and yet I'm picking up a sadness. So people usually cry when you're on it and they feel that you know that, they feel that you get them, basically. It's like an understanding and there's relief there. Because I didn't have to tell you a story, but you get this overriding emotion. And for her, it was sadness. So then I shuffled her out the back as you do. And I said, what's going on? So she starts to tell me. So we ended up doing an archetypal reading. So if you want to know what the archetypal readings are about, you need to look at the previous episode and that'll tell you about the archetypes. I'm going to talk about this like you all know what an archetype is. Anyway, we do this reading. Now, this is the story. She works in the healthcare profession. And for the profession that she works in, she would have absolutely laid down maybe, because she's about 47. So she probably would have laid down between 65 and 70 grand. $1,000, in case you don't know what grand is, $1,000 to get her education. That's a lot of money. So she now needs to make that up and then make a profit because she's working with somebody and she's only getting $50 an hour. What? I had to actually ask her 3 times, $50 an hour for a woman with her expertise is mind-blowing to me. Now, when I did her chart says that she's in victim mode. Poor me, it's everyone else's fault. Her prostitute was also in tribal. It was actually a pretty hard chart for her. There were some really good things too though, but I just want to talk about the hard stuff first. So a prostitute was in tribal. So a prostitute she's selling herself for approval. Oh, and her saboteur was also in tribal. There was a big sign literally on her head saying, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. Of course she's smart enough, especially with what she's doing. Anyway, haven't got enough money, all those things were playing in her head. Now, the way I explained it to her is I said to her, what you've done is you have put yourself in a cage, like she's in jail, she's locked in, she can't get out. But the problem with it is the door is open and she's got the damn key in her hand. So I said to her, does that make sense to you? And she was a bit like, yeah, it does actually, because she could walk away at any time she likes. Now also, just quickly, I just do want to mention one thing. In her reading, her goddess, she had a goddess, and it was in symbolic. And it was in health. So I said to her, you're really good with your clients, aren't you? And she said, I am brilliant with my clients. Like, they always come back to her, return rate's enormous. So this woman is gifted. But here she is, trapping herself in this cage. She actually got offered another job in another clinic and she didn't take it up. You know, she knew about it. And I said to her, did you ask how much they're going to pay you, like the rate, what's going on? And the answer to that was no. So that was her victim, her prostitute, and her saboteur all coming into play at once. Why didn't she ask that question? Incredible. Now, the other thing is she didn't have the courage to make the decisions and step out of the cage that's open with the key in her hand. That's what she should have done. She's lacking courage. I actually noticed this courage situation 10 years ago, and I was thinking, why has everybody lost their courage? What's going on with that? Are we too tired? What's happening? Why? You're not in this lifetime for a long time. Why would you not get yourself out of the cage and make your life abundant, make it rich, make it joyful, the whole lot? Now, the reason I'm speaking about the cage is because I did this to me. I move around a lot, seriously not good for business, but I don't know, I get wandering feet and off I go. And there was a stage when the kids were younger where I thought, you know what, just get a normal job. But I only know this. So I ended up working in insurance. Yeah, that was an ordeal. I hated it, I can't tell you. There were nuffs that were telling me what to do, and anyway, there were some great people too. There were some great people, not saying that. I thought I was actually going to lose my mind at one stage because I had done the same thing, put myself in a cage. My victim was sensational. I do victims so well. Most of the time I'm out of victim, but when I was younger, oh my God, I did victim. I was fantastic at it, like really good. Prostitute, yes, no, because you do come in and out of these archetypes in tribal and symbolic. And saboteur, it's a bit of a problem of mine because I always think I don't know enough, I don't have enough money, all these sorts of things. Anyway, I ended up looking at my life thinking, I think back then I was 50, and I thought, what am I doing? Do I want to just stay in this state of being for the rest of my life? No. So I decided to have the courage, and I moved down to Torquay and I opened up my shop. I cannot tell you how scared I was. I thought, oh my God, I don't know enough. Am I going to be able to help people? Because I actually want to be of service to humanity. So it's important to me. So for me to have the courage to do that, all my children helped me and their friends. I cannot tell you the gifts that I got from people. And anyway, I did open that shop, and I opened up that shop with $200 in my bank. Fear was rippling through me, but I had the courage to do it anyway. And so that's what I want to speak about is I want you to ask yourself the question, are you courageous? Or are you just letting life, are you just puttering along, not happy, miserable? Because as you get older, you know those grumpy old people? You know why they're grumpy? Because they never had the guts to live the life that they wanted to live. So there's a couple of questions. Are you courageous enough? Have you put yourself in a cage when it comes to work, when it comes to relationships, where you're living, the whole thing, in your whole entire life? I want you now to sit and look, and where are you? Are you in a cage? Do you have courage? What are you thinking? How is the rest of your life going to look? Because we're not here for a long time. So for God's sake, why don't you make it a good time? Now, the other thing I've noticed is I believe, and not only do I believe it, I've seen it again and again and again throughout working with people. If you jump off the cliff, you know when you feel the fear and you do it anyway? I call it jumping off the cliff. Don't do it, in this now. Like, this is metaphorically speaking. Anyway, when you jump off the cliff, the universe will absolutely reward you for your courage in doing that. It will either reward you with new people that you meet, money, happiness, joy, all those things. But have the guts to jump off the cliff and make your life bigger and better. I think we should do it. I think you should look at your courage, look at the cage, go forward.